Hey everyone, it's Armor, and I'm gonna ask that everyone please watch this video to the very end. Please watch it in its entirety because the subject matter is a little delicate. I'm gonna be talking about Ingenica's sports secrets once again, hopefully for the last time. And so once again, I ask that before you comment or dislike or like this video, watch it to the very end, and then I want to hear you guys' opinion on what I have to say. And what I'm actually gonna do in this video, which probably a lot of you don't want to hear, is to actually give some props to Social Point, because taking a look at this event in its entirety, it's actually one of the best events we've ever had. And I'm speaking about the event itself, the Ingenica Sports Secrets event. The Progressive Island, this thing right here where you can get all the relics, where you have a chance to get Ingenica, it is honestly one of the best events. Like, now that I've actually taken the time and examined it, I'm like, holy crud, they're extremely generous. And again, this is why I'm asking that you just hear me out to the end of this video, and then if you disagree with me, go ahead and disagree with me. Let me know why you disagree with me. But let me just get into why I think this event is super generous. And actually, before we start, we need to dissolve some myths. So let's, funny, Ingenica's myths. The first thing of which is that Social Point promised that Ingenica would be free. That actually isn't the case. I looked through various Facebook posts, I looked through the actual in-game message, and they never said she would be free. So for example, let's read Ingenica's myth general information. The event. Ingenica's myth is a 4-phase event. To be able to participate in the 4th and final part, you have to finish the first 3 phases to get the assistance. Phase 1, collect at least 10 Hyperion scrolls. Phase 2, collect at least 10 Proto-Hyperion scrolls. Phase 3, collect at least 10 Sweeperion scrolls. Phase 4, participate in the Forged Secrets Quest Island to get Ingenica. So let's keep on scrolling down. After collecting the required number of scrolls, 10 minimum, you will automatically receive news to collect your new monster. And so clearly this is referring to Hyperion, Proto-Hyperion, and Sweeperion. Those are the new monsters you're going to receive. Remember to restart the game once you get the required scrolls, so the news of your new monster reward will appear. Every 200 scrolls you will receive a copy of the monster, you can rank it up. However, there's a limit to how many you can collect, up to 18 copies of each. Keep in mind that to get phase 4, you need to hatch at least one of every assistant. And actually, thankfully Social Point changed this. You didn't actually need to hatch them, you just needed to have them, whether they just be in your storage. So that was awesome of them. So again, nowhere does it say that you get Ingenica for free. All it says is that if you complete phases 1, 2, and 3 successfully, you unlock phase 4. And in phase 4, that's where you get the chance to get Ingenica. And actually I missed it on the top. First, you need to gather all 3 assistants, Hyperion, Proto-Hyperion, and Sweeperion, by collecting individual scrolls marked with their names. Only after putting the group together, you will be able to participate in the journey to find Ingenica and bring her back to your island. So again, they were actually pretty clear about it. In order to participate in phase 4, where you have a chance to get Ingenica, you need to accomplish the first 3 phases. This is to an extent no different than the current breeding event. There's a phase 1 where you get one of the monsters required to breed a monster in phase 3. There's a phase 2 where you get the other monster required to breed the monster in phase 3. And if you successfully completed phase 1 and phase 2 and you got those 2 monsters that are used to breed the monster in phase 3, then you have a chance to participate in phase 3. That's kind of what it is. Now I think what may have ended up happening is that a lot of people sort of assumed that what happens in the maze, you know, they have the, I think it's the Monster Merit Award, where if you collect monsters A, B, and C, you get a free monster D. You know, we got a free Metalhead at one point, we got a free Super Tomato just recently, and I think we assumed that it was the same thing for this event. I think we assumed if you get monsters A, B, and C, Hyperion, Proto-Hyperion, Sweeperion, you get a free Ingenica. Well, they never said that. It's clearly right here. To be able to participate in the 4th and final part, you have to finish the first 3 phases to get all the assistants. So I'll be the first to admit, you know, I did assume that we would get Ingenica for free, but they never said it. It was an error on our parts as the players. I think we can't really blame them, because that was just, they were pretty clear about it. So that's what I'm trying to get at. I know in the previous video I said they weren't clear, but if you actually took the time to look into it, they were pretty clear, and there really wasn't much looking into. And if you guys have any evidence to completely disprove my claim, by all means bring it to me, but we have to first dispel that myth that they said it would be for free, because never did they say it'd be for free. They said you participate in an event to be able to get her. And furthermore, another argument I see a lot of people using is that it took a lot of time to get Proto-Hyperion, Hyperion, Sweeperion. Like, to be honest, no it didn't. And like, I will say this, the people that didn't have Monster Wood, it really does suck for you. I feel like you were cheated out of the event. If for some reason your Monster Wood wasn't broken, that is really unfair to you. But to everyone else, it really didn't take that much effort. Look at how many Sweeperion scrolls I have, how many Proto-Hyperion scrolls I have, Hyperion scrolls. Clearly I didn't need to watch Monster Ed videos that many times. All we needed was at least 10. As soon as you got your 10 Hyperion scrolls, your 10 sweet Perion scrolls, your 10 prototype Perion scrolls, you could have stopped and you would have been able to participate in the event. So by no means did we really need to watch all those videos. So I don't know, that argument that a lot of people are using, that you forced us to watch all these videos for an event that sucks. First of all, not really. You chose to watch those videos. And second of all, again, I'm gonna get into this. The event is incredible. Really, like, taking a look at it, it is incredible. And furthermore, actually, like, getting scrolls is even more easier because it was more than just watching Monsterwood videos. If we go back to the news, the update section, take a look at this. This was for Hyperion. Scrolls were available through the Hidden Creature Maze, Monsterwood Happy Hour, the Monster Dungeon, Food Time Challenge, and Chest. And as for Prototype Hyperion, they were still available in the Hidden Creatures Maze, Monsterwood Happy Hour, the Dungeon, Food Time Challenge, Chest, Facebook Share, and Multiplayer Roulette. And as for the last one, Sweet Hyperion, you could get scrolls during the Keeper's Fables Progressive Island. I believe I got 2 scrolls from there. Monsterwood Happy Hour, the Dungeon, the Griffex Dungeon, Monster Time Challenge, and Chests. And so what I'm trying to get at is that unlocking the event was actually extremely easy, so it was a free event. And so let's actually take a look at the event. So this is my current progress. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm completing the 7th chest right now, and I'm gonna get 2 more by the time this event ends. So I may not get Ingenica, but I'm still gonna get 9 relic chests, and I should be mad at Social Point. These are essentially all free. And so let's do some math. Let's assume, worst case scenario, I get 1 bronze relic from every chest. So I'm getting 9 bronze relics, right? How much does it actually cost to get a bronze relic? Let's find out. We go over to our chests. We go over to right here, the relic chest contains 2 prizes. One of them is a guaranteed relic. So if I wanted to get 1 bronze relic, it would cost me 55 gems. I'm gonna get, worst case scenario, we're being extremely pessimistic, I get 9 bronze relics from all of these chests from this event. What's 9 times 55? It's 495. So absolutely worst case scenario, I get the equivalent of spending 495 gems on relics. So they're giving me 9 bronze relics. Worst case scenario, I gotta emphasize that, worst case scenarios, I'm getting 9 bronze relics, which would be the equivalent of me going into the shop and buying 9 relic chests. I think that's a great deal. It's incredible. But here's the thing, players have actually been getting silver, gold. Some players have even said they've gotten diamond relics from these chests. So let's take a look at what happens if I was to pull a gold or a diamond. How much does it cost to actually get one of those? Silver relic chest. So 6 prizes, 2 of them are guaranteed relics, at least 1 is a silver. So if I happen to get a silver relic chest, that is incredible because that's valued at 225 gems. So for example, let's say I was to buy a silver relic chest and I got 1 silver and 1 bronze, and then if the rest are all bronze, the value of everything I got is incredible. And keep in mind, I said some people have even gotten gold relics. So if I happen to pull off 2 gold relics from this Progressive Island event, that is equal to the value of 685 gems. So a golden relic chest gives me 2 golden relics, and at the very worst case scenario, 3 bronze relics. So that would put the value of this event at 905 gems. So if I do happen to get lucky and get 2 gold and the rest bronze, that's a great value. If I get a gold, a silver, and a bronze, it's seriously, like, no matter how I see it, even if I don't get Ingenica, I profit big time because of these relics. And whether you may like relics or whether you may hate relics, you can't dispute that you're getting a good value. Like, I haven't spent any gems, or I spent very little gems to get to this far. And at the very worst case scenario, 495 gems is essentially what I'm getting in terms of relics, which I think is phenomenal. And I've been saying this in previous videos. Like, the relics is what I was most excited about, because I mean, Ingenica, you saw my analysis. Hopefully you saw my analysis. I don't think she's a must-have monster by any means. I do think she's incredible. I think people are kind of underestimating her. But that aside, just looking at all the relics you can get, whether if they're all bronze, if you get silver, bronze, and gold, whatever mix of relics you get, you are getting an extremely good value. And I actually haven't opened any of my chests. I'm going to wait until the whole event is over, and then I'll do an unboxing video and I'll show you guys everything I get. But yeah, I wanted to make that clear. Keep in mind, what did you need to do to get this event? You needed to watch a few Monster Ad videos. You need to maybe just play the game. You got some random scrolls along the way. You get this random Progressive Island event. You get some free relics that are equal to 495 gems or more. I think that's pretty awesome. But now we need to speak about Ingenica. So, Progressive Islands, this is the interesting thing about them. There is always an optimal time when you spend gems in order to progress far in the event. And if you've seen some of my previous Progressive Island videos, Monster Wiki used to do a gem chart, and in that gem chart I'd be able to calculate what is the best time to spend gems. I would be able to tell you guys, after 1 day pass, gem this monster, move on to the next mission. After 8 hours, gem that, move on to the next mission. And if you see some of my earlier Progressive Island videos, you would see that I would make guides on how to finish the whole Progressive Island for as little as 250 gems. Like, you could seriously complete the whole Progressive Island with 250 gems as long as you were smart about it, as long as you were extremely strategic about it. And that actually appears to be the exact same thing with Ingenica. If you were actually smart about when you sped up the chest, the relic chest, and move on to the next event, you could have honestly got Ingenica for as little as 120 gems, and that's if you were extremely active. So we can be a little more conservative and say 150 gems, 200 gems, and then you could have actually gotten the cells. Apparently those are really easy to get for an extra like 100 gems. So potentially you could have finished this event for like 250 gems maybe, or on the more conservative side 350 gems. Now, is that a lot? No, it's not. The relics already pay for themselves. I told you, at the very least, if we're pessimistic, they have a value of 495 gems. In Ingenica, you would get her a brand new monster, but you'd also get a ranked 1, ranked 2. A rank 2 Ingenica for like 350 gems? What? That's incredible. Rank 2 Ingenica, like how much does it cost to get a monster to rank 3? You would have to buy what, 4 copies of them? 4 copies at 249 gems, that's 1,000 gems. But right here, for 350 gems, you get 9 relics, you get a rank 2 Ingenica. I gotta say, that is awesome. And then even at that point, you'd be able to get into round 2 and potentially get some more relics, an extra banner, maybe an extra mask. But that's pushing it, right? So I'm making the claim that if you were strategic and smart about this, and I do apologize for not coming up with this sooner. Honestly, I looked at Facebook and I found a person that did an incredible post, an incredible guide, and I wish I would have found it sooner, but I guess I kind of just went with the whole crowd of, oh, it's not fair, oh, Ingenica is too hard to get, and I kind of bought it without even looking into information for myself. So I'm at fault there, but at the same time, everyone should do their due diligence and look through if there was a way to get Ingenica for a low value. And so now let me show you guys that value, and this is why I'm making the claim that this island, honestly, it's one of the best, if not the best. It's extremely generous, and even though a lot of us misplayed this event, you have to give props to Social Point because it's so generous. And even if you don't get Ingenica, again, it's still a great event in my opinion. And so let's do some time travel back into when the event just started, and we're going to take a look at someone that did the event perfectly, that did it as strategically as possible. And all credit for these pictures go to Andrew Marlor. He's one of the admins on the Facebook group Monster Legend Warfighters. And so let's take a look at this picture. The most optimal time to speed the chest were when they cost 6 gems. So the first one he spent 6 gems, the next one he spent 6 gems. Right now his total cost is at 12. And so let's take a look. His collect gold was at 9 out of 11, feed your monsters 6 out of 6, breed your monsters 1 out of 2. The reason you want to speed up at 6 gems is because it's not worth it to wait an extra like 4 hours to get the breed of your monsters and to get the last 2 collected gold. What he did was, as soon as he gemmed the last chest, he automatically collected your collect gold, feed your monsters, and he bred a monster. So collect gold was at 6 out of 11, feed your monsters was at 4 out of 6, feed your monsters was at 1 out of 2, and then he waited 2 hours to get the feed your monsters chicken legs, so that became 6 out of 6, and in that time he was able to get 3 more from collect gold, because collect gold spawns every 1 hour and 20 minutes, so in 4 hours you would get 3 more, and so it got to 6 and he gemmed it. And then he did the same thing with the next one. As you can see, look at the time, there's 5 days left, 8 hours, and at the previous picture it was at 5 days and 12 hours, so just 4 hours later he was finished with the first 3 chests, and that only cost him a total of 18 gems. That's not a lot of gems to already be way ahead of everyone else. And don't mind the 4,500 gems, you're gonna see that he keeps those gems throughout the whole event because he doesn't need to use them. It would be a waste to use them. So let's move on to the next picture, and this is where it started getting a little tougher, right? Now you needed to collect gold 17 times, feed your monsters 9 times, fight 3 times, breed monsters 3 times. So let's see what he actually does. Let's click on the next picture, and as you can see, 8 hours later, and you can always just look at the top left hand corner, this was the previous 4 days and 23 hours, and then bam, 8 hours later, that's why it's down to 15 hours, it's down to 23 gems. So what did he do? He did 2 full collection periods. So as soon as he gemmed the first one, you see right there, this picture right here, he did all the collections, and then he got 6 out of 17, 4 out of 9. The fight, you just do those progressively, and feed your monsters and breed your monsters was at 1 out of 3. 8 hours later, once the pools were all full, collect gold becomes 12 out of 17, feed your monsters 8 out of 9, breed your monsters 2 out of 3. Now, I suppose he could wait another 8 hours, but is it worth it to wait 8 hours just to save 23 gems? No, of course not. So you speed up at 23 gems. And I mean, just take a moment to appreciate and look at how smart that is. The cost of unlocking the gem went from 290 to 23 in a matter of 8 hours. That's amazing. And then let's take a look at the next chest. He was able to skip at 26 gems. And again, look at the hour difference. It went from 4 days and 15 hours to 8 hours later, 4 days, 7 hours. He got it down to 26 gems just by logging in. So he played really strategically. As for the next picture, he got it down to 23 gems. And then he got the next one down. This is the 8th chest. He got it down to 12. Now he mentioned to me that he actually messed up on the previous one. Right here, this one, it shouldn't have cost him 23. It should have also cost him as much as this chest, 12 gems. The problem was that he was spending time with his family, so he missed the login period. But hey, that's fine, right? So he accomplished all of this with 2 days and 23 hours remaining. And at this point, he was able to speed that chest and do the 9th chest. And then the 9th chest should cost very little. And then he's still going to have like 2 days to do the Ingenica events. Now let's take a look at the Ingenica events. This is a completely different picture. And it seems excessive, right? It's like, whoa, she cost 1,359 gems to get her after one full rotation. I think she starts off at like 1,800. That's insane. That's impossible. Actually, no, let's take a minute. The thing that's going to take the longest here is to breed your monsters and hatch your eggs. And you got to do 6 of them, which takes exactly 2 days to get. Let's take a look at Andrew's progress again, right? At this point right here, Andrew had essentially 3 full days to get the 9th chest and Ingenica. You think he's not going to be able to get Ingenica in a matter of 2 days? It's probably going to cost him very few gems. He actually told me that the total cost to get Ingenica, if you played really well, you would actually be unlocking Ingenica Tuesday night for as little as 121 gems. Now again, we can be conservative. We can say 150 gems. That's a great price. We can say 200 gems. That's still a great price because not only did you get Ingenica, you also got 9 relics. And then in order to get the cells, the 120 cells, the 150 cells, it would only cost you another 93 gems. 93 gems for 270 cells, enough to rank up Ingenica to the next level, and to the next 2 levels to rank 2 to level 110. So the whole event, if you played it as Andrew did, it would cost you 121 for Ingenica, 93 for the gems. That's a little over 200. And so we can be conservative. We can say maybe you messed up on some login periods. We can say you spent 300 gems for this whole event, for a rank 2 Ingenica, for all of these relics. I gotta say, it was extremely generous. And I can't really blame Social Point for the faults of the players to not know like when to strategically skip a chest. So that's the whole purpose of this video, just to let you guys know that looking at this whole Progressive Island retrospectively, I gotta say, Social Point was actually very generous. Like, I don't see anything wrong with the event. It was easy to unlock. Again, with the exception of those players that maybe had Monster Wood just broken and they couldn't watch ads, I apologize. I really wish there was a way to compensate you guys, but I don't know, you know, that's on Social Point's part. But as far as the event itself, whether or not you get Ingenica, extremely generous. If you were smart about it, if you were very strategic about when you skip chests, super generous event. Again, like, let's be conservative. 300 gems, you get a rank 2 monster, and you get 9 relics that at the very least have a value of 495 gems. I wish I could spend 300 gems and get a rank 2 monster and 9 bronze relics. I'd be okay with that. But like I've said, some people have pulled silver relics out, gold relics out. People have claimed to get diamond relics. So you guys will see what I get during my unboxing videos of those chests. And so I want to end with, as much as we want to bash Social Point, you have to give credit where credit is due. And this event is extremely generous, regardless of whether or not you actually get Ingenica. Again, I don't think she's a must-have monster. I think she's extremely good. And I am a little disappointed with myself for not being more proactive in this event, for not taking the look through, scourge through the information, is seeing if anyone did make a guide for this, because, I mean, you saw it right here. Like, the evidence is right in front of you. Let me pull it up again. 2 days, 23 hours left. He has spent very few gems. If we take a look at Andrew's starting gem count, it was 4,544. At the end, it was 4,512. Now, obviously, throughout the event, he probably got some gems. But as you can see, he really didn't spend a lot. More importantly, you saw from each individual picture, you saw how much he actually spends. He spent 18 gems to get rid of the first 3 chests, then he spent like 23 for the next 2 or the next 3, then he's going to spend 12 on the last 3 or the last 2. He played this really intelligently, and he's going to profit from that. He, instead of complaining, instead of saying, oh, Social Point, you're unfair, you didn't give us Ingenica for free, instead of doing all of that, what a lot of people do, I hate to say it, but it's true, he instead looked at the event and figured out a way to profit from it. And I gotta say, props to him, and he did share the information on Facebook, so if you followed his advice, you would be benefiting from this too. And so I gotta say, props to you, Andrew, and thank you for sharing this with me, so now I can make this video letting everyone know, like, next time something like this happens, we should take the time to see if there is a way to benefit from this event. And like I said, even myself who isn't gonna get Ingenica, I'm still happy. I've mentioned this before, the relics is what intrigued me the most. All these relics and all I had to do was unlock the event, which was super easy. I got like 5 Sweeperions, I got like 5 Proto Hyperions. I didn't need to get 5 of them, but I got a free events, and I'm gonna get a lot of relics out of it, so I'm honestly pretty happy. Am I disappointed with myself that I didn't get Ingenica? Yeah, but that was no fault of my own. So Social Point was extremely generous, and I think you have to give credit where credit is due. Now the one thing I think you can fault them for is the whole Island Boost fiasco. And if you don't know what I mean, it is this. They had a notification message saying there was an Island Boost for this progressive island, where this event doubles the number of items you can collect for the island. I made a separate video about that expressing how disappointed I was, and I'm still hoping they make it up to us. Tomorrow's Monday, maybe they'll extend the progressive island, maybe they'll activate the Island Boost for the last few hours, for the last few days. I don't know, but hopefully they make it up to us, because this is a huge slap in the face. This is the one thing I can fault Social Point for. As for the progressive island itself, I think it's a phenomenal event, and I made this video just to give props to them, and I guess also just to make people aware that it's a little more useful to be proactive and to try to find a way to work around whatever mess you think you're in. Like seriously, I really want to hear what you guys have to say. You know, I read through a lot of comments on the previous videos I made, and hopefully this is the last time I talk about Ingenica's Forge secrets. Like seriously, I want this to be the last time. But what do you guys think after I showed you the proof, after I let you guys know that they never promised Ingenica to be free, that unlocking the events wasn't that difficult? We watched a lot of monster ad videos, but did we need 5 copies of each assistant monster? No, not really. And how do you guys feel about when I did the math, that even if you are extremely pessimistic, even if you're extremely unlucky and you get only bronze relics, and you make it all the way to the 9th relic chest, that's still a great value, especially if you spend no gems. I don't think I've spent any gems, or maybe very few gems. What do you think about that? What do you think about what Andrew did, being able to complete the whole event for, let's be conservative again, 250 gems maybe, because he did miss out on that one login period? Like, isn't that incredible? Rank 2 monthly. I mean, I've said it over and over and over again, and now I'm just repeating myself. But this is the part I care about the most. I want to hear from all of you guys. I want to know what your opinion is. Now that you have all of this information that I presented, what do you think about the events? Was Social Point generous? Do you think they still messed up? Do you think you still deserve a free monster? Again, the Island Boost aside, because I agree, that thing they are completely at fault for, and I really hope they compensate the players. I really hope they extend the event, or they give everyone the island, or they activate the Island Boost. I think that's the only way to make it right. But that aside, the event itself, what do you think about it now that I presented all this information? And if anything, I think the main message I want to get across is just for future references, just take a proactive approach on these Monster Legends events. Like the way I see it, there's always like 2 things you can do. You can sit around and complain about how unfair something is, or you can try to view things from a different angle and see, like, you know what, maybe it isn't this bad, because if I do this, I get this, and it wasn't even that difficult to unlock this. So just, I think it all goes down to perspective. You know, you could kind of join the bandwagon and bash Social Point for what seems to be an unfair event, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess I want to hear from all of you guys. That's all that matters at this point. I'm going to be reading all the comments and trying to reply to as much as possible, because I don't know, after I saw the Facebook post from Andrew, I was just like blown away that I missed out on this amazing opportunity. And I'm not trying to make everyone feel bad, but you guys probably do feel bad. For those of you that watch this video in its entirety, thank you very much. And yeah, I just want your honest opinion. What do you think about the event now? With that being said, I'm Armor Gaming. Thank you all for watching this probably extremely long video. And like always, remember to dream big and pursue your passions.